videos for guests like this, but we want to cut right to the chase. And the fact that we don't have a lot of hype yet because he is new to the sideline for the Tennessee Titans. He is the head coach, Coach Robert Saleh on GMFB right now.
I'll be the hype man.
Guys?
Yeah, right?
I'll be the hype man for Coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You're fired up about
Heck
this.
yeah.
Let me get the first question in there,
please.
all right? Then we'll give it up to you. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations to you and your family on the new job with the Tennessee Titans. It's a gorgeous group that you got. It went viral this week. To be honest, though, do you have a real star of the family that you want to shout out before we get going on what the Tennessee Titans' future looks like with Saleh at the helm?
Absolutely. I mean, my wife, right? She manages, she herds cattle better than anybody in the world. You know, she's got those 8 kids she's got to pull around, and she had them on point yesterday. I think the baby ran out of gas a little bit towards the end of the press conference, but she's outstanding. She's my rock. She's already got a place in heaven reserved for her. And, without her, none of this works.
That's awesome. That's so incredibly cool. Do your older children, Coach, have an awareness for what this new opportunity looks like for your family? They must have been with you along the journey from New York to San Francisco, but you have this next step in being a head coach once again. What do your kids think of this new opportunity in Tennessee?
You know, they're great. You know, we've got this big sign in our house that says home is where football takes us, and it kind of shows all our stops along the way. And our kids, they're ride or die. It doesn't matter. We pack up. They're on board. They're excited for the next opportunity. They're excited to meet new friends. You know, and technology. I mean, they're still friends with people from Jersey, with people all the way back to Seattle. So they're connected with everyone they've been through with all the different cities. But no, they're excited about this.
Home is where football takes us. That's so beautiful, Coach. Obviously, you're a man of many quotes. We watched your presser yesterday, and you talked about how you want your team to play fast and violent. Those are the sweetest 2 words that I could hear from a coach. How do you instill that approach, Coach, with your new team?
Well, there's layers to it. You know, first off, you got to bring in the right guys who are actually capable of executing from a vision of being fast, being violent. But you know, schematically, putting them in position to be successful. Getting them to a place where they can play without thought, where they can access all their physical gifts and their physical abilities, and just showing them over and over and over again what the standard is and what it looks like to play fast, to play violent, and you know, so it's constant repetition, and just going through the entire process to get them to the point where, like I said, they're playing without thought.
Coach, super excited to be talking to you because you're known as one of the all-time culture guys. And Manti mentioned it. He's more excited to talk to you than anybody. I'm pumped because we know who you are. We know what you bring. And we had a saying in Notre Dame that was culture over scheme. And now there's a lot of successful NFL coaches that are really bringing a quality culture, and you're seeing how important that can be. You've talked about eliminating the gray area. Can you just talk about what that means and just the culture that you're trying to bring to this Titans football team?
Yeah, you know, ultimately, I think it doesn't matter what level of football or even sport that you're playing. These young men, they want to know where they stand. They want to know what they need to do to be the best they can possibly be. They want to build relationships with the people around them. So, again, it's connecting with these guys on a one-on-one level. It's understanding who they are beyond the jersey, and again, it's helping them find one nugget that allows them to make plays on Sunday. And if you can do that, I do believe that you can build a culture of investment that gets everybody doing a little bit more.
All right, so with that being said, Coach, not that any one of 53 is more important than the other, but I have to imagine that people were kind of ushering you towards having a conversation with Cam Ward, perhaps, before taking the job. Now that you have the job, he is your QB1. He is your #1 overall draft pick. What has it been like getting to know him and the talent that he has ahead of 2026?
No, he's intense. Everything I've learned about him, his work ethic, the character, the man, what he wants to be in this league. He doesn't just say it. I think he does it. And his work ethic, everything. Like I said, everything I've heard about him has been outstanding. And then you watch the tape. We had the game plan against these guys, against Cam. He's an uber talented young man, and You know, so we've had our conversations, really looking forward to working with him. And like I've said, and I'll say it with everybody, that if you have the mindset this young man has and the work ethic this young man has, I find it hard to believe that he's not going to find success. He's going to be successful because of his mindset. And like I said, we're all really looking forward to working with him.
Coach, you mentioned his intense and his mindset. That also kind of describes his offensive coordinator right now. You're bringing in Brian Daboll to help run that offense there in Tennessee. What is your relationship with him, and how confident are you that he can help develop Cam?
You know what, Dave's and I joke about it. You know, when I first met Dave, you know, as coordinators, Dave's would never talk to anyone before the game. I was like, this guy's a jerk, and
That's fine.
this guy thinks he's too good for people. But when we really first started having conversations at the owners' meetings when he first got the job at the Giants, and you know, obviously, I mean, just an unbelievable human. Obviously, he is intense, but you know, just through the empathy of the market and just having conversations, navigating both our teams and understanding where each of us were coming from. We've practiced against one another. We've competed in games against one another, and we've just kind of built a relationship from there. But Dave's is perfect for Cam. He's had a history of coaching young quarterbacks, history of coaching veteran quarterbacks. He knows what it looks like to develop. He knows what it looks like to maintain. His scheme generates yards, points. It does whatever it needs you to do. And so we're really excited to have him on board. And like I said, I think he's going to be perfect for Cam, and I think Cam is really excited about it.
Coach, I mentioned this story yesterday. The last time I saw both you and Daboll actually was on a flight out of Indianapolis after the NFL Scouting Combine. You two were flying from Indy back to the New York area, New Jersey area. How much did you guys interact, AKA, were you neighbors in New Jersey? And will you take any of those hangouts or meetings or sessions now on Broadway, down Broadway in Nashville? Like, how are you guys going to spend your time away from the building now that you're teammates instead of being on opposing staffs?
You know, he would invite me over to his house all the time to go swim, but we never quite could link up. But you know, he's a good man, you know, just all our phone conversations, and hopefully we get a chance to get our two families together. I know he's got a bunch of kids too, so, but who knows, it might end up at a concert or two.
Hey, there we go. Coach, Kyle Brandt, huge fan, just as we all are here on GMFB. He's not in studio with us today, but like the true fanboy he is, he sent along a question that he wanted to ask you and make sure you got on your radar. So here's Kyle, take it away.
What's up, Coach? I'm still taking that supplement that you told me about, PHW. For those noobs who don't know, PHW stands for pure hard work. You can't beat it. My question for you, Coach, what kind of PHW do the 2026 Titans need to get on? You tell me. See you soon.
Oh, my God.
So random.
We did not see that.
That's our first time seeing it too, Coach.
That's crazy.
He's the best, man. I don't know. People don't know the history. He was texting me, like, I guess there were some photos out there one time. He's like, dude, what are you doing? What supplements are you taking? I was like, well, I take PHW. And he spent, I guess, the next 24 hours looking for he was looking for the supplement. He's like, well, I can't find
Vitamin
this anywhere. I was like,
supply.
pure hard work.
Oh, my gosh. That's incredible.
You can't buy that in the stores now.
Exactly,
I like
exactly.
this going in the background, but
Yeah, it could be.
it's crazy. But we do have a Super Bowl coming up, so I have to ask you about the Super Bowl. There's not another coach in the NFL, by the way, other than maybe Chris Shula, that understands Sam Darnold more than anybody. So can you just talk about what this Patriots defense has to do to stop Sam Darnold and who your pick is for this Super Bowl?
Ooh.
Oh, man. I don't know if I'm going to make a pick, but I
out.
think both.
That's fair. You're like, I'm 2 days into being a head coach here, however many days. Let me not make a pick right now, but go ahead.
Right. But when you look at both teams, obviously we played Seattle, we haven't had a chance to study New England or anything like that. But just speaking about Seattle, like their defense is absolutely ridiculous. They've done a great job building it. Coach Mike does a great job with regards to scheme and putting those guys in position to play fast. Offensively, Coob's done a great job just implementing the scheme with regards to the run game, the outside zone scheme. I think John Benton's one of the better O-lines in all of football. JSN does an unbelievable job from a receiver standpoint. They do a great job getting the ball to where they need to get to, and they're a challenge in all three phases. And as for New England, like I said, I'm not very as familiar, but I mean, they got to be doing something right, man. They ran through their schedule. They've won a lot of football games. They're playing great defense. Drake May is really taking the step in the right direction and playing at a very high level. Looks like he's going to be a staple in this league for a long time. So I'm really looking forward to the game. It's going to be a hell of a game, and like everyone else, really curious to see what happens.
Coach, final question. I wanted to ask you this because I think your career kind of parallels this coach. Coach Mike Vrabel once coached at Tennessee. This is also your second bout as a head coach. And I remember watching an interview with Coach Mike Vrabel, and he talked about the things that he's learned going into this new opportunity with the Patriots. And he says, we can have different personalities, but we can't have different mentalities. Is there something, Coach, that you've learned that's made you a different coach heading into this next chapter as a Tennessee head coach?
Yeah, you know, you're always going to learn a lot, right? No matter what your circumstances, whatever your situation is, good times, adversity, you're going to learn through all of it. And one thing that I can tell you, there's always going to be a constant through all of it, and it's the people. And, you know, building connection, constant communication, constant establishment of standards, those things will never change. But yeah, there's always going to be great growth in everything that you do. But like I said, the locker room is always going to remain constant, and what the information you deliver to the locker room and the communication and the connection that you have with the locker room is always going to be the common denominator to success.
Coach, you love defense. You love guys who are all about the PHW on defense. Is there anybody more representative of that on your team than Jeffrey Simmons? I mean, my God, that guy.
He's not bad, man. He's not bad. You know, when we game planned, I feel like I mean, Kyle and you know, we have this we have a what it takes tape every week. There's just kind of all three phases what we need to do to win the game, and Jeffrey was the big focal point on that tape for our offense, and deserving. You know, the guy is he's a good-looking human being, plays his butt off, and just going through this process, learning that he's the work ethic he has, and one thing I do want to highlight, things that people don't know about him, like he's a guy that's going to walk up to the QCs and the chef and the you know, just the, I don't want to say low level, but just the entry level positions that are just kind of coming up to encourage them and thank them for their work, and just an elite human. In that regard, and thoughtful and understanding of all the different things that people are doing around the building, and just really looking forward to continuing to get to know him and work with him.
You really do. You're really getting after, Coach, with trying to get to know not only the player, but the person. We appreciate that so much, and I'm sure the guys do as well. Robert Saleh, everybody, the News head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Awesome to see you, Coach.
You're the man, Coach.
Good luck
Appreciate
this season.
Best of
Thank
luck.
you guys. Thank you so much.
Cheering
Really
for you.
appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Still learning your defense.